Hello Year 4, welcome back to day 2. I'm going to start off just by going through the answers from yesterday. So question number 1, you had to shade 1/4 of this shape. Okay, so you needed to shade in any 3 boxes. Okay, I've shaded in these 3, but it didn't have to be those 3. Question number 2, you had to circle 3/5 of the apples, which are 6. And circle 5/6 of the watermelons, which is 10 watermelons. Okay, question number 3, tick the 2 shapes that have 3/4 shaded. Okay, that was these 2 here on the left hand side. Question number 4, you had Mia has planted 16 carrots. She picks 3/4 of them. Okay, how many carrots are left in the ground? Okay, the answer is 4. And you just needed, with this question, to make sure you read the question carefully, okay, because it tells us that she picks 3/4 of them, okay, so that means that she picks 12 carrots. However, the question asked me how many carrots are left in the ground, okay, so left in the ground would be 1/4, which is 4. Question number 5, shade triangles so that 3/4 of the shape is not shaded, okay. So you need 1/4 shaded, which is 5 triangles. Okay, once again, it doesn't matter which 5 you have shaded. Question number 6 was an always, sometimes, or never. Okay, and she has said, if I split a shape into 4 parts, I have split it into quarters. Okay, and you had to explain your answer. I put there that it is sometimes true. Okay, if the shape is not split equally, it will not be in quarters. Okay, so if she split it equally, then it's true. But if she hasn't split it equally, then obviously it's not true. And question number 7, which representations of 4/5 are incorrect? Okay, and that was these 2 bottom ones here. Okay, so this, the bar one here, okay, hasn't been split into equal parts. And the one with the elephants and the tortoise is also not correct, okay, because it's either showing 2/5 or 3/5. Okay, so well done for doing that. Right, today we're going to be recapping and applying our knowledge of equivalent fractions so in order for us to compare them. So we're going to start off just by looking at these fractions. Okay, so here I have my whole. This whole has been split into 2 parts, so I've got a half and a half. This whole has been split into 4 pieces or into quarters. Okay, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and then finally this whole here has been split into 8ths, into 8 pieces. Okay, we need to have a look at this and think about what do you notice about the fractions. Okay, when in this example all of the wholes are the same size. Okay, so I can notice that a half is the same as or equivalent to 2/4. And also 1/2, 2/4 is the same as or equivalent to 4/8. Okay, so these are examples of equivalent fractions. They are all the same. They are the same size. Okay, this works when the whole is the same size as well. Okay, so the key word today is equivalent. Okay, and like we just discussed in school, okay, when we say equivalent, we can hear equal almost at the beginning. Okay, so when we hear the word equivalent, we can remember equal, okay, meaning the same. Right, what I'd like you to do now, okay, is just to pause the video, okay, have a look at these fractions. What do you notice this time? Okay, so hopefully you've noticed that obviously this bar has been split into 1/3, this bar has been split into 6ths, this bar has been split into 9ths, and finally this bottom bar has been split into 12ths. Okay, 2/3 has been highlighted here, 4/6 has been highlighted here, 6/9, and 8/12. Okay, and because the wholes are the same size, okay, they are all equivalent. Okay, so 2/3 is equivalent to 4/6, is equivalent to 6/9, is equivalent to 8/12. Okay, they are the same. In questions that we're given, okay, we won't always be given a bar, okay, or a picture that has been split up. Okay, we might be posed with a question that will look something like this. So I'm given my fraction, which is 4/7, and then I'm given an equals, and then the numerator of 20. Okay, and I might be thinking, well, what's the denominator? That is the part that we need to work out. Okay, so I've got my equal signs here. Okay, so I know that I'm working out an equivalent fraction. Okay, a fraction that will be equal. Okay, so because I've got my numerators, okay, what I can do is have a look at my two numerators, 4 and 20, and think about what do I multiply 4 by to get 20? Okay, so using my times table knowledge, I know that I have timesed it by 5 because 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, and with fractions, if I do something to the top, I have to do it to the bottom. Okay, so because I've multiplied by 5 here, I'm going to need to multiply by 5 for the denominator. So 7 times 5 is 35. Okay, so 20/35, okay, is equivalent to 4/7. We can use our knowledge of equivalent fractions to help us to compare fractions. Okay, so to help us notice if one fraction is larger or smaller than another. And sometimes we just know which fraction is bigger or smaller. So for example, if I had a half and a third, okay, I know that 1/2 is bigger than 1/3, okay, and I can prove that, okay, with these two circles here, okay. So 1/2, okay, I can see here is bigger than 1/3, okay, or I can say that 1/3 is smaller than 1/2. But sometimes it can be difficult to compare fractions, okay, so for example, 2/3 and 5/7, okay, I'm not sure which is bigger, which is smaller, okay, because these fractions are a little bit more complicated, okay. So what do? Do we just hope for the best and guess? Of course not. We can use our knowledge of equivalent fractions, okay. So what we have to do is change the denominators so they are both the same, okay. And how do we do that, you may ask? Well, what we do is we use our knowledge of the common multiples, okay, and we have to find the lowest common multiple, okay. So for example, with 2/3 and 5/7, okay, I need to find the multiples of the denominators first, okay, which I'm going to write out. So multiples of 3, okay, got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Just going to stop there. And then I need to find the multiples of 7. Okay, so I'm going to write out my 7s again. So 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. Okay, I'm going to stop there. So looking then at my list of multiples, okay, I then need to identify which is the lowest common multiple. Okay, so by common I mean the same. Okay, so if I have a look down my numbers here, okay, where are they the same? 21. Okay, so my lowest common multiple is 21. Okay, so that means that my denominators need to become 21. So I then need to look at what I have done or what I need to do to 3 to get to 21, okay, and what I do to 7 to also get to 21, okay. So 3 I times by 7, okay, and if I'm not sure I can check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay, 3 times 7, and here, okay, 7 times what is 21? 7 times 3. Okay, and like we said earlier, okay, whatever I've done to the bottom, I do to the top or to the numerator. Okay, so 2 times 7 is 14, and 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, so now that the denominators are the same, I can compare them easily. Okay, so I've now got 14 over 21 and 15 over 21. Okay, so now I can compare which is bigger, which is smaller. Okay, and I can say that 14 over 21 is smaller or less than 15 over 21. Okay, so I could also put that back into the original question. Okay, so that 2/3 is less than 5/7. Right, let's now practice. So pause the video. Okay, work out the equivalent fractions for 7/9 and 4/5, and then compare them. Which is bigger, which is smaller? Right, hopefully first thing that you did, okay, was looked for the common multiple with the denominators. Okay, so I need my times tables again. So my denominators are 9 and 5. Okay, so writing out the multiples of 9, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, going to stop there, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Going to stop there. Right, now looking down my multiples, okay, what's my lowest common multiple? My lowest common multiple is 45. Okay, which means that my denominators need to become 45. Okay, what have I times 9 by to get 45? I've times it by 5. What have I times 5 by to get 45? I've times it by 9. Okay, so what I've done to the bottom, I do to the top. 7 times 5 is 35. And timesing by 9. 4 times 9 is 36. So, which is bigger, which is smaller? Okay, so I can now say that I know that 4/5 is greater than 7/9. Okay, because 36 is bigger than 35. Excellent. Right, now it's your turn to have a go at home. So, you have 5 questions today. Okay, so question number 1, working out the equivalent fractions. Question 2, comparing. And then you've got some reasoning tasks to complete. I'll see you tomorrow. Should you wish to complete some mental maths today, please continue watching the video for the questions. You will need to look carefully at the calculations and decide whether to use a mental or written method. Remember to set yourself a timer for 5 minutes and to pause the video. Good luck! Now you have finished, continue watching for the answers.